Well, hello, everybody. My name is Tim Hay, and I'm the Cooperative Development Director for NASPA Value Point. And I would like to welcome you to the latest webinar series to introduce a refreshed portfolio for NASPA Value Point. It's for Security and Fire Protection Services. This portfolio was led by Rhonda Miller from the state of Nevada, and she's going to talk with us today about the latest portfolio. So welcome to today's call, Rhonda.
Thank you.
Also on the call today is Shannon Berry, who's the Cooperative Development Coordinator for NASPA Value Point, and she supported Rhonda and the sourcing team for this resolicitation effort. So Shannon, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
And also is Ted Foskett, who is joining us today. He's the other Cooperative Development Coordinator for NASPA Value Point, and he's actually going to take over supporting this portfolio and supporting Rhonda and the state of Nevada and the sourcing scene going forward. So Ted, welcome to today's call.
Thank you, Tim. Hello, everyone.
So first, I'd like to turn the reins over to Shannon, and she will introduce the sourcing team that helped Rhonda put together this new contract. So Shannon?
Thank you, Tim. Next slide. Yeah. So I'd like to thank our sourcing team that helped put this portfolio together. We had Nicola Costa from Florida, Sherry Diem from Oklahoma, Art Potter from Washington, Pat Bode from South Carolina, and a special thank you to Rhonda Miller as our lead from the state of Nevada. This team was a great sourcing team. They worked well together, and I think they have great contracts in place for all the states available to use. So I'll turn it over to Rhonda now to introduce the new contract.
Hello, everyone. The purpose of this master agreement, we combine the security and fire protection services that previously were two separate contracts that did not have inspection services. In doing so, we offer this to all state governments, including departments and agencies, and any other eligible entities at the approval of the participating entities procurement director in compliance with the local statutory and regulatory provisions, including the cities and counties. The benefits of this agreement is we awarded to several new vendors, both nationwide and regional. This contract has driven 5 nationwide vendors, and we are combining the two contracts for a single PA for both security and fire protection services, reducing the administrative burden for participating states. The markup percentages for their cost is all-inclusive with shipping, configuration, kitting, processing, reporting, warehousing, value point, and participating entities fees. No other fees can be charged without prior negotiation and approval by the participating entity. The RFP process was ran, and all the statutes and regulations were followed by the state of Nevada's process. And it started back in March 22nd, we released the RFP. Answers and closing were all due May 23rd. The contract term is initial 2 years with a 3-year renewal option. Contract start and end date is August 15, 2017 to July 31st, 2019. We have received 39 proposals, and 19 of those vendors were awarded a contract. Each technical response was evaluated on individually along with each category. The scopes of service include 9 separate categories. We have also included a category that was not in the previously awarded contract for high security control systems, which is for our correctional facilities. Category 1 is the access control system, which includes installation of new systems, key cards, the key locks to allow you access into a controlled environment. Category 2 is the burglar alarm systems. That's for system monitoring and providing alarm systems for new buildings along with their old and repaired buildings. Category 3 is surveillance services and equipment, and it includes, not limited to, all aspects of the cloud-based and video surveillance system, installation of new systems, and replacement or upgrade of systems. Category 4 is portable fire extinguishers, which allows vendors to come out and service your extinguishers, to replace them and or maintenance and test them. Category 5 is the fire extinguishing systems. The system includes new extinguishing system, either pre-engineered or engineered. They're authorized to replace extinguishing systems and retrofitting current systems. Category 6 is sprinkler systems, fire sprinkler systems, excuse me. The fire sprinkler systems category includes, but not limited to, installing new automatic sprinkler systems, replacing, retrofitting, and maintaining. Category 7 is the fire alarm protective hazard signaling system. It's installing devices and equipment, not limited to smoke detectors, heat detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. As I mentioned previously, Category 8 is new. It's a high security control systems, which is replacing systems, testing, maintaining, the gates at the correctional facilities, as along with any of the other security needs they may have. Category 9 is inspection and monitoring of all the categories 1 through 8. Next slide, please. The awarded vendors are listed here along with the states that they proposed and the categories they're proposing on. Any vendors that move to another state are allowed to add, through the state of Nevada, with the permission of the state of Nevada, additional states. The contract pricing, one thing we did notice within the current master service agreement is there was no room to have the vendors responsible for fixing improper pricing on a continuous basis. So we added a penalty for improper pricing in the new RFP. Next slide. There's also a standard of performance and acceptance. The acceptance testing period shall be 7 calendar days or any other time identified in the solicitation or the participating addendum. If the product does not meet the standard of performance during the initial acceptance, the vendor will have to come back and replace this at no charge to the states. Vendor shall pay all costs related to the preparation and shipping of any returned products. The warranty period will not begin until the purchasing entity's approval. Contract pricing is based on an hourly rate and a percentage material markup. The vendors did not include in their price if they intend to have a minimum time limit. So all pricing shall be submitted according to the hours worked. If the vendor was there a half hour, then the vendor will charge for half hour. Next slide, please. Items to consider in the state's participating in addendum. If the state allows the term and conditions to provide for the PAs to survive an expiration date, therefore it is recommended that you put an expiration date in the participating addendum. If you are allowed to go beyond the term, check your state's process and see if you have to include the contract start-end date. Travel reimbursements to the contractor will be negotiated between the contractor and the PA, the participating entity. Labor rates and percentage markups are capped, but the state may negotiate lower costs. The master agreement does allow for leasing of equipment, and the terms of the leasing should be specified in the individual states' participating addendum according to their laws. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call me, Rhonda Miller, State of Nevada, 775-684-0182, or email me at rlmiller@admin.nv.gov. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Rhonda. These sound like some exciting new contracts and some great new enhancements to the previous portfolio that sounds like states will have even more flexibility in their ability to use these. Am I right in that assumption?
You're absolutely correct in that, Tim.
All righty. Well, thank you very much for your hard work on this. I'm going to take just a few minutes to talk about the participating addendum process. As you're aware, all of the portfolios that we have available to our customers are available through NASPA Value Point through what we have called a memorandum of agreement. This is where a state has executed this agreement with NASPA Value Point that allows them to be able to utilize any one of our 65 different contracting portfolios through NASPA Value Point. There's 3 options for participation under our process. Through this process, though, the states may be able to select which contractors they'd like to use. They can include their own state administrative fees, include any unique terms and conditions in their participating process, addendum process, also identify options for their states or their political subdivisions in the PA, and request state-specific reporting or any other reporting requirements that they have. Those 3 options for participation, as I mentioned, are where a state will either sign a participating addendum for the entire state, or a state can sign a participating addendum for non-state entities, or option number 3 is where a state chooses not to sign a participating addendum. We always encourage that states sign the participating addendum. That allows the ability for all state agencies as well as the political subdivisions within that state to participate. However, if a state is unable to utilize these agreements, but if they don't have any objections to political subdivision in their state utilizing the agreements, then we certainly welcome them to sign number 2. And then number 3 is where, as I mentioned, a state chooses not to sign a participating addendum. That doesn't mean that political subdivisions within that state do not have the options of participating with these agreements. We just have a couple of steps that we need to follow first, primarily checking in with the chief procurement officer within that state to make sure that they don't have any objections. So opportunities, number 1, step by step. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but it's primarily negotiations between the state entity and the contractor. We do have model participating addendums located on the NASPA Value Point website, and I'll show you those in just a minute. We ask that state entities and political subdivisions start with that model participating addendum and just negotiate directly with the contractor or contractors of their choosing. The state of Nevada nor NASPA Value Point, we do not get involved in negotiations. We are here to answer any questions you may have. NASPA Value Point would be your primary point of contact to ask any questions regarding the participating addendum process itself. However, if you have a contract interpretation question, if you're not sure of a term or condition on the master agreement, Rhonda is the person that you'll want to contact in the state of Nevada. Once you've executed those participating addendums, we ask that you send in the fully executed copy to pa@naspavaluepoint.org. and a PDF format of that participating addendum is fine. So steps for opportunity 1 and number 2 are exactly the same thing. It's the states negotiating the participating addendum. The only difference in opportunity number 2 is state agencies are excluded from utilizing that participating addendum. However, the same steps are still involved, where it's just negotiations between the state and the contracting entity. Number 3 is where a political subdivision will want to utilize one of our participating addendums. If a political subdivision out there is interested in utilizing one of our PAs and we have verified that the state has not executed a participating addendum, then all you need to do is contact us. So if there's a political subdivision interested in utilizing that, just send a PA to info, or send an email, to info at NASPAValuePoint.org. And just indicate that you're interested in utilizing a contract or contractors under this portfolio. Be sure and include your point of contact information. What we'll do is that info at NASPAValuePoint.org will go to our education and outreach team. And depending upon what part of the United States you're located in, the E&O representative for your region will reach out to this chief procurement officer in the state that you reside in to ensure that they don't have any objections to you executing your own participating addendum. And the reason why we do this is we want to make sure that we're not competing against any in-state cooperatives that that state may have. So once we've reached out to the chief procurement officer in your state and have verified that they do not have any objections, then you are free to execute your participating addendum directly with the supplier. As I mentioned earlier, we do not get involved in negotiations, nor does the state of Nevada. We are here to answer any questions. Once you have executed that participating addendum, all you need to do is send that in to pa@naspavaluepoint.org, and we'll get it posted up on the website. We have this flow chart located on all the portfolio pages of NASPA Value Point. There's two steps here. There's the participating entities, states entity steps, which follows this track right here. And then we have the political subdivision track, which follows this track right here. And the only difference is here we have that check-in process with the state CPO to make sure that they don't have any objections. So this is an important topic to talk about here: state versus political subdivisions executed participating addendums. If a state has already executed a participating addendum in the state which you reside, we ask that political subdivisions do not execute their own participating addendum. You have the ability to make purchases directly under that state executed PA. Now, we recognize that some political subdivisions may need to have some sort of a separate contracting document just to document the transactions occurring between that political subdivision and that contractor. We ask that you use a different document other than the participating addendum, and you do not need to send that executed document into NASPA Value Point. The only exception would be is if a state has chosen not to execute a participating addendum, then political subdivisions may utilize the participating addendum located on our website, and you would follow the processes that I just outlined and negotiate that participating addendum and send that in directly to NASPA Value Point. So things to remember: we do have sample PAs located on the NASPA Value Point website. They're under each of the master agreement portfolios, under each of the contractors. We will maintain copies of all the participating addendums that come in. We'll also post all the participating addendums up on our website, and as more states participate, the United States map will start to color in, indicating if there's a PA executed in the state, whether it's for a state or a political subdivision, that state will be colored in on the United States map. Just a reminder that the lead state and NASPA Value Point do not get involved with the negotiations, but we're here to answer any questions. And we ask that you only send in the completed and negotiated PAs with signatures from both parties. Sometimes we're copied in on communications that occur between a state entity or a political subdivision and the contractor, and there may be a draft participating addendum attached to that email. We ask that you not include us in those conversations because we don't want to make the mistake of mistakenly posting a participating addendum that has not been completed yet. So please only send in those completed participating addendums to us, and a PDF format is okay. Now, I had mentioned I would show you on the website where the participating addendums are located. So if you go out to our NASPA Value Point website, which is located at naspavaluepoint.org, you will see the Security and Fire Protection Services portfolio page with the new dates of 2017 to 2019. We have 19 different contractors, as Rhonda mentioned earlier, that participate, and all of the portfolio information is located right here with copies of the original RFP, the evaluation scoring sheet, and the executive summary made to the management board. And as you can see right now, we don't have any states that have executed participating addendums. As states execute those PAs, this map will color into blue. So to find a PA, I'm just going to pick one of our contractors here. So I will pick Stanley Security here. You just click on that. It has information about which categories they are participating in. It also has a copy of the master agreement. Their proposals are also located here. And the model participating addendum is located right here. This is actually a Word document. So if you click on this, it'll pull up a Word document here. And we ask that you use this as the starting point of contact to begin your negotiations. Now, also on this web page here is the point of contact information for each of the contractors. It's located over here, as well as Rhonda's contact information located here as well. So with that, I would like to thank everybody for participating in today's webinar. Ted Foskett, who is on today's call, is going to be the Cooperative Development Coordinator that supports this portfolio going forward. And his point of contact information is right here. You can reach him at tfoskett@nashvillevaluepoint.org, and his phone number is area code 907-723-3360. We hope that you find these new contracts very beneficial. We certainly welcome any feedback that you would like to give us on any of the contracts. If any improvements you would like to see, or if you think they're doing great, these contracts are great, we would certainly like to hear from you as well on that. So with that, I'd like to thank you for participating in today's webinar, and I hope you all have a very great day.